28 miles off the tip of Cornwall, a climate emergency is unfolding. Less than 1,000 years ago, the Isles of Scilly was a single landmass. Now it's 140 islands and 2,000 residents are battling the impact of rising sea levels and intense storms.
This is the main defence of our water supply, which is just the other side of this bank.
Protecting the island's water from sea contamination is just one of the plans to ensure that future generations can still live here.
What's the worst case scenario for the people of the Isles of Scilly?
Well, evacuation, basically, because we wouldn't be able to live here. I'm not talking about the next 10 years, 20 or even 100 years, but it could eventually lead to evacuation.
The council says it must robustly defend the islands and is spending millions on protecting its coastline, homes and businesses.
The majority of the population lives here in Hewtown, but it's also one of the most vulnerable parts of the Isles. At its narrowest, it's around 130 metres wide, sandwiched between two beaches. Climate change is literally squeezing and eroding this community.
20 minutes by boat and we arrive at St Agnes, population 80. Farmers Aidan and Grace rear cattle, but also grow crops for oils and gin.
So normally we'd be harvesting these plants and they'd be up like this.
Intense dry spells are making business difficult.
Summers like this summer have made us have to rethink completely, and we're having to look at investing in permanent irrigation systems now to see us through. It's just happening too often for us to risk year on year the crops failing.
But climate change isn't just impacting those on land. The Wildlife Trust says in 2017 nearly all seal pups died after being swept out to sea too soon by a series of ferocious storms.
This is the main entrance to the school.
15-year-old Will Schwartz is a climate champion at the island's only school. He's passionate and fearful about the future of the Scillies.
It definitely worries me. The future generations won't be able to have the same experiences over here than I did, than my generation did, which is a little bit sad, and it's a bit worrying because we might already be too late.
This island community is taking action now, knowing climate change is posing an urgent threat to its very way of life. Dan Whitehead, Sky News, on the Isles of Scilly.